Have you ever felt uneasy walking down a quiet street in a small town? Imagine living somewhere where every night you hear gunshots, and every day brings news of another violent crime. It might sound like a scene from a gritty urban drama, but the truth is, some of the most dangerous places in America aren't sprawling cities. They're small, tight-knit communities where violence has become a daily reality. Today, we're diving into the 10 most violent small towns in America in 2025 according to the FBI's crime data. Towns where crime rates skyrocket far above the national average, and residents live in constant fear. As we count down these places, think about how you'd feel living there. Would you take extra precautions, or would you pack up and leave? Let us know in the comments below. And if you're new to the channel, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell. Now let's dive in. Lumberton, located in Robeson County, North Carolina, has consistently topped the charts as one of the most dangerous small towns in America. With a population of just around 20,000 residents, it's shocking how frequently violent crime occurs. Lumberton's violent crime rate is approximately 55 per 1,000 residents, which is over 13 times the national average of 4 per 1,000. The most prevalent violent crimes here are aggravated assaults and robberies. A significant issue is gang-related violence, with rival factions contributing to the crime rate through turf wars and retaliation. Lumberton's location along the I-95 corridor makes it a hub for drug trafficking, which brings additional violence and instability. Economically, Lumberton struggles with high poverty rates, with over 30% of residents living below the poverty line. The lack of stable employment opportunities fuels desperation, leading some to turn to crime as a means of survival. Bessemer, Alabama, situated just outside Birmingham, is a small town with a population of about 26,000. Violent crime in Bessemer is reported at around 41 per 1,000 residents, making it one of the most dangerous places to live in the state. One of the most common violent crimes in Bessemer is aggravated assault, followed closely by robberies and shootings. The city has witnessed a series of high-profile homicides, often linked to gang activity and drug-related disputes. Residents often report hearing gunshots at night, and many feel uneasy even during daylight hours. One factor contributing to the high crime rate is Bessemer's struggling economy. Once a booming industrial center, the town has faced economic decline as factories and steel mills have closed. The loss of blue-collar jobs left many residents unemployed or underemployed, creating a breeding ground for crime and violence. Additionally, the proximity to Birmingham means that crime sometimes spills over from the larger city, exacerbating the problem. Selma, Alabama, is a small town with a rich history, particularly known for its pivotal role in the civil rights movement. However, today, it's infamous for something far darker: its shockingly high violent crime rate. With a violent crime rate of 70.9 per 1,000 residents, Selma's crime numbers are more than 3 times the U.S. average of 22.7. Aggravated assaults are the most commonly reported violent crimes, often fueled by long-standing social tensions and economic despair. The community has been rocked by several brutal homicides in recent years, leaving locals grieving and anxious. Social issues, including systemic neglect and lack of investment in community programs, only deepen the crisis. Many residents have expressed frustration at the lack of meaningful change, despite years of advocacy and local efforts to curb violence. Economic challenges are at the heart of Selma's crime epidemic. The unemployment rate is significantly higher than the national average, and over 40% of the population lives below the poverty line. With limited access to quality education and jobs, many young people feel trapped with few options. Located about 30 miles south of Chicago, Sauk Village, Illinois, has become a symbol of small-town violence. With a population of around 10,000, the crime rate here is staggeringly high, with approximately 55 violent crimes per 1,000 residents. This puts it among the most dangerous small towns not just in Illinois, but in the entire nation. The most common violent crimes are shootings and robberies. The proximity to Chicago means that crime often spills over from the larger city, exacerbating local issues. Gang activity is rampant, and rival factions frequently clash, putting innocent bystanders at risk. Sauk Village faces economic hardships typical of many small towns in America. The decline of manufacturing jobs has left many unemployed, and the resulting poverty rate is nearly double the national average. Additionally, deteriorating infrastructure and lack of social programs leave residents feeling abandoned by their government. Local law enforcement has struggled to maintain order amid ongoing violence, and many community members feel unsafe even in their own homes. Formerly known as Barrow, Utqiagvik is the northernmost city in the United States, located above the Arctic Circle in Alaska. Despite its remote and isolated location, this small town of around 4,500 residents faces a violent crime problem that rivals much larger urban areas. The violent crime rate here is approximately 30 per 1,000 residents, significantly higher than the national average. The most common violent crime in Utqiagvik is domestic violence incidents. Due to the town's isolation and harsh climate, conflicts often arise within households or close-knit communities, leading to violence that can escalate quickly. Substance abuse, particularly alcohol, plays a substantial role in the frequency of these incidents. Economic challenges are a major factor contributing to violence in Utqiagvik. Despite being the administrative center of the North Slope borough and benefiting from some oil industry jobs, many residents still face economic instability. The high cost of living, driven by the difficulty of importing goods to such a remote area, makes life even more challenging. Wow! Can you believe some of these numbers? It's almost surreal how a small town can feel more dangerous than a big city. What would you do if you found yourself living in one of these places? Would you stick around and fight for your community, or would you get out as fast as you could? Let us know in the comments. We love hearing your thoughts. And don't forget to like this video if you're finding it interesting so far, and subscribe if you haven't already. Your support really helps us keep bringing you these eye-opening stories. Also, let us know down below if there's another topic or list you'd love for us to cover next. West Memphis is a small city of just under 25,000 residents located on the western bank of the Mississippi River, directly across from Memphis, Tennessee. While its location near a major urban center provides some economic opportunities, it also brings significant crime challenges. West Memphis has a violent crime rate of approximately 39 per 1,000 residents, making it one of the most violent small cities in the United States. The most frequent violent crimes here are shootings, robberies, and aggravated assaults. Gun violence is particularly concerning, as gang rivalries often spill over from Memphis, leading to deadly confrontations in West Memphis neighborhoods. Residents frequently report hearing gunfire at night, and businesses are often targets of armed robberies. Drug trafficking is also a significant problem, with the town's position along major highways making it a prime spot for moving illicit substances. Efforts to curb crime have met with mixed success. Law enforcement faces resource limitations, and community trust is low due to perceptions of corruption and inefficiency. Community leaders have pushed for more youth engagement programs and job training to address the root causes of crime, but progress is slow and inconsistent. Dillon is a small town with around 6,000 residents located near the North Carolina border. Known for its proximity to south of the border, a popular tourist stop, Dillon has a violent crime rate of about 28 per 1,000 residents. This is nearly 7 times the national average, making it one of South Carolina's most dangerous small towns. Gang violence, though not as rampant as in larger cities, plays a role, as does drug-related crime. The opioid epidemic has hit Dillon particularly hard, and addiction often fuels both violent and property crime. Economically, Dillon struggles with limited economic development. Many jobs that once sustained the local economy have moved overseas or been automated, leaving a gap that has yet to be filled. Poverty and lack of education make it challenging for residents to break free from the cycle of violence and despair. Local law enforcement has been proactive in forming community partnerships and increasing patrols, but without addressing the underlying economic issues, it's like putting a Band-Aid on a deep wound. Monroe, located in northeastern Louisiana, is one of the state's most crime-ridden small cities, with a population of about 47,000. The violent crime rate here stands at around 31 per 1,000 residents, making it one of the most dangerous places to live in the region. Violent crimes primarily include shootings, aggravated assaults, and robberies. The town has a history of economic challenges that stem from the decline of manufacturing and industrial jobs. Poverty is rampant, with over 40% of residents living below the poverty line. Drug activity, particularly involving methamphetamine and opioids, has fueled much of the violence in recent years. Law enforcement in Monroe is often overwhelmed, and many residents feel that police responses are slow and inadequate. Community distrust runs high due to past incidents of police misconduct, making it harder to foster cooperation in solving crimes. Public safety initiatives have been proposed, but funding remains a critical issue. Hartsville, with its population of about 7,500, is another small town facing big crime problems. The violent crime rate here is around 25 per 1,000 residents, putting it far above the national average. Most violent crimes in Hartsville include robberies, but there's also been a noticeable increase in shootings in recent years. One major factor behind the high crime rate is economic disparity. While Hartsville has some industry presence, not everyone benefits from the available jobs, and many residents still face financial hardship. This disparity has led to tension and conflict, often resulting in violence. Substance abuse is another major factor. As with many small towns across the U.S., Hartsville has been hit hard by the opioid crisis, with addiction leading to violent altercations and desperate thefts. Local law enforcement and medical facilities are strained, unable to meet the growing demand for rehabilitation services. Community leaders have pushed for increased mental health resources and drug treatment programs to help curb the problem, but the progress has been slow and uneven. Commerce, a small city of about 12,500 residents located in Los Angeles County, struggles with a violent crime rate of around 32 per 1,000 residents. Despite being a key industrial and commercial hub, the community faces significant social issues that fuel violence, including gang activity and drug-related crime. Shootings and aggravated assaults are the most frequent violent crimes, with gang rivalries often spilling into residential areas. The influence of larger gangs from nearby Los Angeles has been a persistent problem, making it difficult to maintain peace. Economic inequality is stark, with many residents living paycheck to paycheck, despite working in the local industrial sector. High living costs and limited social mobility create tension, leading to conflicts that often escalate into violence. Efforts to revitalize commerce have been met with resistance from some community members who feel excluded from development plans. Initiatives to increase youth engagement and provide job training have been proposed, but implementation has been sluggish. We've covered some pretty shocking places today, small towns that seem straight out of a crime thriller. It's hard to imagine living with that kind of fear every day, but for the residents of these towns, it's just reality. Whether it's due to economic struggles, gang violence, or the harsh realities of rural life, these communities are fighting an uphill battle. Which of these places surprised you the most? Or did we miss a small town that deserves a spot on this list? Let us know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and ring that notification bell to stay updated on our latest content. We've got more jaw-dropping lists and fascinating stories coming your way, so stay tuned and stay safe.